scouting, and testing.
So, before we head into it, we must have a clear definition so we all can get what is scaling. In that sense, could maybe, Remy, can you help me with a definition for scaling?
Absolutely, Kirby. So, scaling means setting the stage to enable and create growth in your company, right? It means having the ability to grow without hampered. It requires planning, some funding, processes, technologies, and obviously staff and partners.
Absolutely. In that sense, it is setting the ground in order to create growth in your company. This is done by several different factors, but it is highlighted that teamwork is a really big factor in order to achieve this. I like to link this to a situation that some of us, and at some point all of us, are going to experience, and that is the practice. In that sense, it is really recommended to accumulate resources and increase the output in different areas. This is done by doing the measures that we have been studying and covering, how to do this, how to do the research on your company and on the market. After this, it is recommended to accumulate resources, workforce, workers, instruments, products, content. In this sense, what you're going to try to do is to put outside the most that you can on your brand and your company, so much more people can get engaged into it and can cross-buy your company. In this sense, as much input as you put in your company, as much data, as much people working, as much experiences you get in, you will be able to create more. Of course, this has to do with the management of interns, which is sort of what we're going to be doing in the practice. Now, before you do this, you must have into account that only one person is a boss, and in that sense, there are many tasks in a company for one only person to be in charge of all of them. So, of course, the management of interns is really recommended because there are many low to mid-level tasks. In fact, most of the tasks in the company are of these levels. So having workers do things for you will allow you to put your time and effort into the most important tasks. After this, you gotta understand that you have to give guidance, you have to be patient, and you have to understand that they might not get things right the first couple of times. And that is normal, that is regular. And finally, the better placement you do of these interns, the more output you will be able to create. This has to do in terms of abilities, of the needs of the company, the requirements, of the objectives you want to reach in order to get the most people engaged and to acquire the more users.
So I'm gonna give you a quick example on how user acquisition works. Basically, you are searching something on Google, and then you find out a tool that is really interested for your work. So in order to get access to that tool, you need to sign up first, and how its user acquisition works.
Exactly, Yogi. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to know about user acquisition. Why this? Because user acquisition is necessary to get the attention of the people, to get new users, to increase your sales and incomes. So one important element of this part is about keywords. Why keywords? Because this is when the people know about the product, your product. So if you hear about Just Do It, you think on Nike or tennis shoes. If you heard about I Love It, you think on food or also in McDonald's. This is the reason why. But many years ago was very difficult because there was not anything about technology. So in this time, the people used newsletters or in face-to-face to have contact with the audience.
Absolutely. Now we have emails, which is the tendency nowadays, and actually newsletter is kind of old-fashioned. It was like the tendency 20 years ago. And now, guys, have you ever heard about the 90 cycle day? Well, basically, it's when you spend more than 3 months on a decision making for a purchase. So if you never do that in that time, you are most likely to never buy that product. Is that right, sir?
Yes, of course.
This is why this is one of the reasons why the business needs to be creative in your products to catch the attention of the people and engage in your business. So it's very difficult in big products because it did have a long process to buy the product or the service. But in small products, it's more easy and more seller. So we have different technological devices to solve this problem.
Absolutely, and maybe you are wondering how can we collect the data? Well, basically we have the three main ads for us, which is main, shoot, convertible, and contact for 7. So basically, when we're navigating to any web page, a notification pops up. You have to submit your personal information, and they get your information into a database, and eventually they will contact you in the future by email.
So, how many of you use the cell phone all the day? And this is usually is our life, and this is why we need to. When we are in the web pages to search different products in Amazon, Wish, wherever you want. Sometimes we are in this page just to see a product, just to watch what are in there. However, sometimes we buy a product, and also we are in a list. This is conversion.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to give you 2 examples to set that pretty clear for you guys. Basically, conversion is when you go from a passive visitor to a potential customer for the company. Now, imagine you are navigating through Amazon web page. You are scrolling down, you are changing page to page, and then you find out a really interesting AirPod as an example. So you like the price, you like the color, and also there is a discount right there. So you are now thinking in order to buy that product. So basically, you went through passive visitor to potential customer. If you complete the purchase, you are now already a customer for them.
Most of the time we are in internet. So when we are in internet or in a page, in the upper left corner, we appear a notification. This notification called notification, push notification alerts.
Absolutely. Well, just to give you like pretty example about that, push notifications are the one that appears on the left corner, and we tend to close that as soon as they come out. Basically, we have been shaped our marketers to ignore that completely. But on the other hand, we have leads, which is the tendency nowadays because it's an exchange of information for all of you. Imagine that you are in LinkedIn, finding some template for your CV, and then you have to submit your first and last name and also your email address in order to get that free template. So that's how leads work. Now that we've covered the scouting part, we're gonna go over into testing.
All right, so testing is pretty interesting actually. But first we need to know the definition, right? So maybe Kevin can help me with the definition.
Absolutely. An A/B testing is basically a method. It is a tool to measure how well. It is comparing 2 things. It can be, for instance, an advertisement, the web page of a product that is on sale. It can be the package of this product. A/B testing is a method to figure out what works better in what context, in which publics.
Absolutely. So moving on, we need to know this. We need to answer these 3 questions, right? But why do businesses conduct A/B tests? Well, this is how businesses are run these days. Actually, they need to take this data-driven approach to know how the customers behave in regarding to their promotions, right? A common dilemma that businesses have nowadays is that they think that they know their customers. However, they don't really understand them. Customers don't even know why do they choose the purchase that they choose. Actually, they don't even know why they make the decisions they make. They just do. So, where can we apply an A/B test? An A/B test can be applied on pretty much anything. You can apply A/B tests on websites, on posts on social media, and also on an email. So, you can apply A/B tests on pretty much anything, even in our outfits. How can we apply an A/B test? Well, first we need to choose a tool. There are plenty of tools on the internet that will help us to apply an A/B test and to create it, right? Some of them are there in the screen. For example, OmniConquer, Google Optimize, and so on. And lastly, for how long can we apply an A/B test? This is a pretty interesting question actually, because a lot of people don't even know how long they will need to apply an A/B test. But in reality, it doesn't matter. As the first question, because it depends on the volume of visits, the conversion rate, and obviously the goals of the company. So lastly, we brought this quick example that we did on our workshop in class, or actually our classmates made this example of A/B testing. So we wanted to see how we perform in this tech talk to see if you guys got the idea.
So, I have a question for you guys, someone to answer. What do you prefer about the first and the second one? Someone can participate? The first one, why?
Luxury and very nice.
Okay. Someone who knows about the second one is better than the first one? No one. Why do the audience prefer the first one?
I don't know. We may think that the first one is like more elegant. I don't know what the Kirby think.
The thing in A/B testing, though, there's not a proper answer. There's not a final answer. It is just what works better. Maybe most of us would have chosen the first example. Maybe a really small percentage of us would have chosen the second one. But that's what A/B testing measures. It's not the same in each kind of public. It's not going to be the same rates. It is established that an A/B testing for a almost perfect result has to have how many persons participating in it?
5,000 people to take it as a reliable source.
So this is really a small extract of what an A/B testing could do. But by this we can have a measure of it. We could also say, for instance, you and I, which out of our two outfits, which one would you prefer or would say that is most adequate for giving a TED Talk? All black or a mixture as I do? Anyone that could reply, which one would you choose? Mine, and why is that? Thank you. Is there anybody that would have chosen all black? Anyone, please? You, and why is that? Why do you think all black is better? Okay. And that last thing you said, it's personal opinion. A/B testing measures the personal preference of the public. And that way, I hope that with all of this topic wrapped up, we have given you some more info on how to finish your research and marketing processes. Thank you so much.